Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of my Create This Book series by me and Moriah Elizabeth. Today, I'm going to be doing 3 more prompts in the book. Before I begin, like and subscribe, and let's get right into today's video. The first prompt of the day is to create a shared drawing. So I'm supposed to start a drawing and then let a friend finish it. And I have the best friend for this, my husband. So I'm going to do the left side and he's going to do the right side. So I'm starting off with my side first, and I got to pick what we drew. And I recently went to the zoo, so I've got animals on the brain. And so I decided to draw a tiger, which is like my favorite zoo animal. So that's what I decided to sketch out. So that's what I'm doing first, starting out by sketching out my entire design. And it was really hard to only draw half of a drawing. That really messed with my mind. It made it really hard to get the proportions right, so I had to resketch a lot of times to get everything to look the way I wanted it to. But once I had it all pretty sketched out well, then I went ahead in with a black Ohuhu marker to kind of outline everything and make it a little bit neater so I could really see the design, and also to add in some black stripes to the tiger too. That way I knew where everything belonged and could kind of get a better design feel for the entire picture as a whole. And I thought it was turning out so cool, but like I said, it was kind of hard to tell what it looked like without the other half of the drawing there. But this was so fun, and I was super excited to see how my husband would draw this out too, because I just feel like it would be really unique to see. I decided to color mine in with Ohuhu markers, so that's what I'm doing, of course, with a lot of oranges and browns. So that's what I'm going ahead and doing. I always start off with shading first, that way I can blend out the shading with some lighter colors. So I went ahead in with this brown red first, and then I just started going on with lighter colors over it. I added a little bit of texture in for the fur, and then I just kept on coloring it in. You know, coloring is my favorite part of drawing these things out, so I was having a lot of fun getting all of the colors and shading on the tiger right. It was also pretty tricky and difficult because they have a lot of white spots, but they also are blended in, so it was really challenging to get the orange to fade into white. So I ended up later taking a warm gray to put into the white as well. That way it would kind of blend in a little bit better and it wasn't just straight orange to straight white. I tried to add in a little bit of orange into the white as well, just to kind of add in some variation, and that way it all blended a little more and looked a little more natural. And then it was time to add in some final details, so I used a gold gel pen to add in gold to the eye, and then I used a white gel pen to add in some whiskers, and then I was finally done with my side of the drawing. I think it turned out super cool and I loved the warm colors in it, so I wrote my name, and now it's time for my husband's side.
Hello friends, it's great to be here with you. So I'm drawing the other side of this tiger, and I already know that I can't really compete with my wife in this category, so I'm trying to be careful not to feel the need to do it the way she does. I've definitely got more of a cartoony style. I mean, I grew up on comics and cartoons, and that's how I learned to draw. That's what I learned to draw from. I copied so many comics of Spider-Man and Captain America and Obi-Wan, and so I feel like if I were to be good at drawing, that would be more of my vein. And so I tried to play into that, and I also know that I don't know how to color. So I just decided to shade what I could with the pencil and try not to get too deep into it, but make it happen. So I'm just marking out where the black stripes or dots are here in order to know the distance, because I wanted the head to match the size of Carolyn's head. I spaced it out by looking at her, so I'd go over and say like, okay, this is about how far away her nose ends from the middle line, so that's about how far away mine needs to end. So I tried to just match her shape so that even if my side was good, but it was like a third the size of hers, I feel like it would look pretty goofy. So I tried to just honor that, and here I am doing some more shading, just trying to get the darker parts of his shadows in there, and then I'm going in now and I'm filling in the orange, which obviously you don't know that because it's just a pencil. But hey, maybe you can tell. Maybe I'm giving myself too little credit. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, he's fluffy. He's beautiful. We love him. I'm going to go through here and he's got these black dots on the bottom that I missed, and then I want to add some whiskers because I feel like that'll add some flav. Then we're doing the iris, and I think that does it for me. So thanks.
So here's his side and here's my side again, and I think his side turned out so awesome. Comment down below and tell him thank you for doing this with me. It was so much fun to draw with him, so now it's time to put them into the Create This book. So I put his on the right side and mine on the left, and I think this turned out so awesome. It's so cool that he did it in black and white because I think that just really adds and makes the left side pop more, and I think it's just the perfect pair. So now it's time for the next prompt of the day, which is to create plans for a building. So I really struggled with this one. I just did not have it in me to draw that many straight lines and to try and figure out that much perspective and so on and so forth. So instead I kind of decided to make this really bad sketch and talk about the tallest building in the world, which is just over half a mile tall. That is insanely tall, so I just had to talk about that and let you guys know that that exists in the world, just in case you didn't already know. So now it's time for the last prompt of the day, which is to create color combinations. So I have all of these tiny little squares that I'm going to use to create different color palettes on, and I'm going to use my Ohuhu markers to make these color palettes. That way it's super simple and easy, and I can see them blended together too. So first I started out by picking colors that I wanted to see grouped together. For these ones I picked warmer colors. I was trying to create a sunset sort of vibe, and then I thought it would be really cool to see all of the colors blended together. So that's also what I did on the bottom, to really see how these would transition into one another and to see how they would actually look side by side. So after I did that, I decided it would be really cool to also give these color palettes names. So for this one I decided to name it Desert Sunset. So that was the first one, and now it's time for the next color palette. So for this color palette, I really wanted to create some forest colors, and at first I was scared it looked too much like Christmas, which it still kind of does, but I was trying to create like a mushroom forest kind of vibe, and once I blended the colors out, I think that came through a little bit more. But let me know what you think about this one, and I did end up naming it Mushroom Forest, so I thought that was pretty fun, and I do like the colors next to each other. For the next one, I wanted to create kind of a spring color palette, but it wasn't really saying spring to me all that much. It kind of is, but it was more kind of too warm and saturated, in my opinion, to be spring pastels. So I blended them all together, and after I blended everything together, I felt like it was more of a warm spring than it was just a regular pastel sort of spring, so that's what I named it. And then for the next color palette, I kind of just picked colors completely at random to see what I would get, and for this one I got these color groups, which I felt like looked like a sea floor. It had all of the colors for the ocean plus some green for some seaweed, so I felt like these colors worked really well together, and they were all kind of more cool colors with that warm pop of brown on the end, and I felt like this was a cool color palette. For the next color palette, I just decided to pick all of the colors that I liked the most from it and see how those colors went together, just based off of them solely being my favorite colors. And once I blended all of those out together, they were so vibrant and so fun and so colorful. I just felt like it had to be named Parrot because parrots are extremely rainbow and colorful, so I felt like that was very fitting for this name. And now it's time to put them all into the book. I felt like this was such a fun project. I'm not really sure what I've learned from it, but it was a lot of fun to do and to see all of the colors, plus it just makes me so happy to see all of these different colors blended together on one page. I love these two the best, but which one is your favorite? Let's take a look back at the first prompt of the day, which was to create a shared drawing. So I made the left side of the page and my husband made the right side of the page, and I think this turned out so cool. It was so much fun to do and to get to draw with him, and I loved him being a part of this video. So here is the next prompt of the day, which was to create plans for a building. So I just basically told you guys that the tallest building in the world is over half a mile tall, which is really tall, but this page is kind of unimpressive. So sorry about that. And then for the last prompt of the day, I created color combinations using my Ohuhu markers and created all of these bright and colorful color palettes, which were super fun and satisfying and relaxing to make. Let me know which one of these color palettes turned out to be your favorite and why. Thank you guys so much for watching. My favorite prompt of the day was definitely the first tiger prompt I did with my husband, but let me know which one was yours. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!